Hi everyone, welcome to Bedtime Stories. Tonight we're talking about my Disney obsession. So I am a Disney adult and I have loved Disney for a pretty long time, probably for as long as I've been married to my husband. And that is probably going to make sense in a second because that is about the time that my obsession started. I call it obsession. It's really just a sincere love for, I guess, the brand. Um, I I just really fell in love with it at a certain point in my life, and it wasn't, ironically, it wasn't when I was a kid. So I'll kind of rewind a little bit and go back to when I was a kid. I did visit Disney. I visited Disney World for the first time when I want to say about 9 years old. My aunt and my uncle took me for my first trip with my sister, and I think I was 9. I have a very bad memory. I wish it was better. I don't know why. But I'm pretty sure I was 9. I just don't recall a ton from that vacation, but I do know that I went. But I don't have much recollection from that trip. So it wasn't at that point. I did go again in high school. I went with my best friend from high school. We went and flew down. I think it was like a spring break. It was just me and her. I want to say maybe junior or senior year of high school. We took a trip down there to, again, Orlando. And it was fun and wonderful but obsession still did not kick in yet at that point. And then I took a trip to my best friend. Actually, after we graduated from high school, she moved out to California, to San Diego, and I went to go visit her. And while I was there, we took a trip to Disneyland. So I got to visit Disneyland for the first time as well. Which is quite underwhelming when you've been to Disney World, but still a cool experience. So I definitely recommend visiting it if you can. But Disney World is just so much larger and has so much more to offer. And, but authenticity is definitely with Disneyland. So I will say that. That's what, 1, 2, 3. Oh, and I also did go with my dad at one point. We took a Greyhound bus down. Oh my gosh, that was horrible. Don't ever take a bus from New Jersey to Florida. Please don't ever do that. That was the worst experience. And then I went down with him at one point, and I think that was in high school too, if I can recall. I just don't know the timing of all of this, but it was all before I met my husband, and that was in 2005. So all of those trips happened before that point. So fast forward to meeting my husband, us getting married. We're now in 2005. When we got married, and I'll talk a little bit more about our wedding in another video, but we really had to pick a honeymoon spot that was relatively cheap. And I use that term loosely for Disney because if you go to Disney now, it is not cheap, especially if you go with a family. Like, I guess for 2 people, it's not that horrible, but if you're going with kids and everything, it's pretty expensive. So we decided to go there for our honeymoon. And we went down, remember, at Trench Downport. If you watch my video on my husband that I made the other night on how we met and everything, I talk about how it downpoured. So we went down to Florida that next day, and we stayed at, I want to say, All-Star Movies, I think. Like one of the cheaper Disney hotels on property. I think it was All-Star Movies. It was All-Star Movies or All-Star Music. I can't even remember. Isn't that horrible? That was our honeymoon. I can't remember what place. What a weird, I know people are probably thinking, what a weird spot. Aren't you supposed to go to Jamaica for your honeymoon or some kind of island or something? Listen, we were 20. I was 20 and he was, he was 23. He was 23 when we got married. So we were young. So Disney wasn't that far off in reality, like for someone our age to want to go visit, islands just weren't in our budget at that point. So we were okay, and we were very excited to go to Disney. So we went to Disney World, we did all 4 parks, and then we went to Universal at the same time. And then we also did SeaWorld. And it was at that point on our honeymoon that I fell in love with Disney. Not just Disney World, but the Disney brand. I can't even pinpoint the exact reason, just other than I was an adult that had responsibility at home, and I was away living my best life, feeling free and comfortable and at ease, and like I could be a kid again. And even though I was only 20 at that point, I was working and, just got married and everything. It still felt really, really cool to be in an environment where I could feel free. And that's what Disney like really has always been about to me is, walking in there, it's always just giving me that peace and that calmness of, hey, like you're home in a sense. That's why a lot of people do call it home, like, oh, I'm going home. It's just so fun and exciting. And yes, I know it, and especially now, like it's very crowded. There really is no slow point to go anymore, no slow time of the year. There used to be. There is not anymore. And it's just, I don't know. So at that point, we came back from our honeymoon, and instantly I was like, we have to schedule a trip to go back. It was so much fun. I was like telling my mom about it, my stepdad and my brother, my sisters, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was so much fun. I can't wait to go back. We instantly like booked a trip to go back the following year in 2006. This time we drove down with my mom and my stepdad and my siblings. And that was our second trip as husband and wife. So that was fun. A lot of bickering, but that was fun. It's always fun when you go with like extended family, because one person wants to go this way, one person wants to go that way, and there's always like something that you're disagreeing about or something. But anyway, so we went in 2006, and then we got, if you recall, in my other video, I said we had our first child in 2007. We got pregnant with him in 2006, and then we had him in 2007. We decided to take him on his first trip to Disney in 2010. So we went from 2006 to 2010 without going to Disney. Talk about Disney withdrawal. 4 years of not being able to go. That was really hard. But he was 3 at the time, and we were so excited to take him for his first trip. And it was just so magical. Watching him see the castle for the first time, watch the parades, see the fireworks, get his first Mickey ears. It was just the best. It was the best. And actually, while we were down there, I was actually pregnant with my daughter at the time on that trip in 2010. And, we had plans. We're like, oh, we can't wait to bring, daughter back with my son, and then, have them come together. So it was a lot of fun. So that was the next trip that we took. So what's that? We went in 2005, we went in 2006, we went in 2010. Then we had my daughter in 2011, and we booked a trip for 2012. Here's the fun part, right? So we booked a trip for 2012 in 2011. Like, we had my daughter in March, and we're like, oh, let's book a family trip. But we booked one with like a whole bunch of our family, like my aunts and uncles and my mom and dad, stepdad and all them, and my sibling, a whole bunch of people were going. And it was like a lot of people. So we booked it, deposits and all that. And then literally like 3 months after I had my daughter, I found out I was pregnant with my younger son. And my first thought was like, oh, well, no. My first thought was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I can't afford 2 daycares. That was scary. And I just had a baby. Oh my gosh. Like, he was our surprise baby. We'll talk about that later. But anyway, so my first thought in regards to the trip was, oh my gosh, I booked this trip. We're supposed to all be going on vacation together. I really want to take my daughter and my older son on this vacation. We have to go. But I'm going to be probably having the baby by that point because we booked it for the following August and I was due in June. It's like, oh my gosh, he's going to be like a month old. Like, what are we going to do? Like, should we still go? Should we cancel it? Oh, we went. And man, that was a trip. That was a trip. He was 7 weeks old at the time. Yeah, we did that. It was definitely the most challenging Disney trip we've ever taken. My older son was 5 at the time. My daughter was 1.5. And my baby boy, he was 7 weeks. Yeah, that was crazy. It was so crazy. I just remember everything possible happening on that. I mean, he wasn't even sleeping through the night. He was 7 weeks old. I mean, can you imagine how stressful it is on a Disney trip as it is in general? Add in an infant that's not sleeping through the night to the equation. That's just beyond, right? So that was a lot. That was 2012. After that, we took some time off. We were like, yeah, we need a break. That was a lot. And then we decided, I think we went back in 2015, 16. No, 17. We went a long time before we went back. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we went a long time before we went back. This is why we had so much withdrawal from Disney at this point. We didn't go back again until 2017. And that was like when the kids were a little bit older and, they were able to do more stuff and it was just a lot more engaging for them. And it was, that trip was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. We went back in 2019. Only in that trip, I think just did Universal. We didn't do Disney in that trip, which I was so sad because how can you go down to Florida? Literally, like you're driving around Orlando and you're passing through and you see all the Disney signs and you're not even getting to stop at Disney. I was like so upset. I was like, can we at least just go to Disney Springs while we're here? So we wound up going to the Springs and walking around, and I was like, I just want to go in like a Disney store or something, So I was able to do that at least, but I was so bummed. Like we went all the way down there from New Jersey and I didn't even get to go into Magic Kingdom or anything. So that was a bummer, but we did go down to Florida in 2019. Then we went back in 2021. COVID, of course. That was the masks. That was a fun trip. Went back in 2022. I think that was the year. It was 22, 22, 23. That was like the Christmas year. We did it like right after Christmas as like a Christmas gift. We took my nephew with us. That was a lot of fun. He had a blast. We loved taking him with us. And then we went back last year. And we went in 2023. Wait, oh my gosh, I'm losing track. We went spring break the one year. I think it was last year. No, last year we went in July. I don't know. I should have wrote this down before I did this video so I could have had the dates right for you guys. I went this past July for my older son's birthday. I will tell you that. That was our last trip. So we haven't been since this past July. I don't know. We've been like, 8, 9 times altogether. It's a lot. This is why I was like, oh, I just want to move down there and get a season pass so I can, just go whenever I want. But of course, someone won't let us move down there. If anyone wants to convince my son to let us move down there, I will give you his contact information. It's like, I will not do that, but he's he's holding us back, and I'm just bummed, man. I want to go down there. But yeah, I just have, I love it. My daughter loves it. We just try to keep the magic alive in the house, like throughout the year when we're not there. It is very expensive for us to go. We are a family of 5, so every time we go, it's a lot of money. So it's a lot of saving and a lot of sacrifice. You know, we have to give up a lot of other things in order to make the trips happen. But we're willing to do that because we love Disney so much. Of course, I will say that, you know, the boys, they tend to say, like, oh, you know, can we possibly go to another place, Mom? Do we have to keep going to Disney? Well, yeah, because that's where the magic happens, you know? Like, you want to go to an island, go to an island. I don't know. I actually have bucket lists to go to, like, once the kids are grown or whatever, I'm going to Disneyland Tokyo, Disneyland Paris, and I do want to go to Disney Alani. That is goals for me. I have to do that. And I still haven't done a Disney cruise. I've been working on that. They're very expensive. They are very, very expensive, the Disney cruises. So for 5 of us, I mean, we're talking a lot of money. So that is also on my bucket list. I have all these things I want to do. I got kids to get through college first, you know. So in the meantime, I'm just taking like little mini trips down to Disney. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you guys, like, when my obsession started. It's been for a very, very long time. I love it so much. I try to bring it into the home and, you know, make my home Disney-fied as much as possible. I watch lots of YouTube videos. I love talking about it. If you say anything about Disney in front of me, I'm going to bring it, like, talk your ear off, just so you know. If you're looking for Disney advice, trip planning, things like that, I am your girl. I follow a lot of influencers and people online that are living down there to stay up to date on happenings and things changing in the parks and such. So I don't lose sight of that. But anyway, all right. Well, there's my Disney episode for you guys. I think I'm going to start doing, like, I was talking to my husband about it tonight. I want to do like TikTok lives with Disney, like Disney topics, right? Like a Magic Maker Jen for a reason. Like, what if we did that? Would you guys follow that? Would you come on and like be involved in that? Do you like Disney? Like, tell me. I don't know. I mean, I know people love Disney, but I also know some people hate Disney. I don't know. We're a Disney house. All right. Well, I'll let you guys go. Thanks for joining me. I hope you guys have a magical night, and I will see you tomorrow. Sweet dreams.